This is breaking news from the Las Vegas Review-Journal, sponsored by Michael Gaughan's South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa.
Back from the FBI, Spencer, I'm sorry, I knew that. I was going to say Davis. Spencer Evans will provide you the further details on support that was provided by the FBI. And then subsequent that, we'll take a short order of Q&A. If you have some questions, and please identify at that point who you want to direct the question to, okay? So as you all know, I'm Sheriff Joe Lombardo, and joining me is U.S. Marshal Gary Schofield and FBI Special Agent in Charge Spencer Evans, and LVMPD Captain Brandon Clarkson from our Major Violators Bureau. We are here to brief you on the arrest of Porfirio Duarte Herrera, who was taken into custody last night by our patrol officers near Eastern and Owens. He is currently in custody at the Clark County Detention Center. There is no doubt this man was a danger to our community. He was serving a life sentence for murder after planting a pipe bomb in a coffee cup in 2007, and I'm sure you are fully aware through your own research the circumstances of that event. It was an extremely calculated and cold-blooded homicide. He had been on the run since Friday, September 23rd. Like everyone else, we learned on Tuesday, the 27th, about his escape from the Southern Nevada Correctional Center. We immediately disseminated his picture and asked our officers to be on the lookout. Because desperate people do desperate things, we were concerned about threats to the public and the people who were involved in the initial case. Additionally, we were concerned about our officers stumbling upon him in their day-to-day activities. When we have a critical incident, LVMPD enacts major case protocol to maximize our investigative efforts. It has helped solve urgent, high-profile cases here in Clark County. As you're fully aware of the issue with reporter Gehrman, where we initiated the major case protocol as little as a couple weeks ago. Hours after we learned of the escape, LVMPD partnered with other law enforcement agencies, namely the U.S. Marshal and the FBI, to bring the full force of our resources into this investigation. The important piece on this is teamwork. And I want everybody here in the audience to be fully aware of the law enforcement community here in the Las Vegas Valley, to include the state of Nevada, that teamwork is critical for us to be successful in what we deal with on a daily basis. I want to thank the community and the media for being vigilant. We especially want to thank the alert citizen who called 911 with a tip that helped lead to his arrest. This is a case which ultimately ended well, even though the fugitive had a 4-day head start after escaping. We are fortunate no one else was hurt. Many times these type of cases end tragically. Captain Clarkson will now walk you through the details of the capture last night, as well as the body cam video. So, Captain Clarkson. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Captain Brandon Clarkson. I am the captain over the Major Violators Narcotics Bureau. So one thing that the Major Violators section specializes in is the location and apprehension of violent individuals and fugitives. So the other thing LVMPD is good at establishing a major case protocol, and at the direction of the sheriff, Tuesday afternoon we brought in all of our resources, department resources and agencies to have a briefing and discuss our response. By utilizing all of our resources of our agencies, we're able to quickly begin interviewing known associates and canvassing certain areas. Throughout our investigation, we determined that he was last seen in the area of Bonanza and Nellis Monday night, and we were able to confirm that information via video surveillance in the area. One of the things we were concerned about specifically was him escaping the state or the country, so we wanted to flag every transportation hub in the valley, any transportation coming in and out, specifically bus depots. Through old-fashioned police work, just flyers were created with the suspects or the fugitives' likeness or pictures of the fugitive, and that was delivered to these bus depots and distributed valley-wide. Wednesday night, we received a 911 call from the bus depot near Bonanza and Eastern, where we had previously delivered a flyer of the fugitive. The employee recognized the fugitive from the flyer and immediately called 911. He was scheduled to leave on a bus to Tijuana just before 10 p.m., which our officers, LVMPD officers, responded, saw the suspect and took him into custody just prior to him entering the bus. Our officers then transported him to CCDC, where he's currently in custody. So next, I'd like to show the body-worn camera footage of the apprehension.
You all right? Transport to the property going to be held. He's in custody. So when he is down, let's the red diablo. Look at me. Watch him. Whose idea is this, bro? Whose idea is this? That's where you're gonna go? Where are you gonna go? Any guns in the bag? You know why we got you, right? Yeah, it's gonna be him.
She was outside getting ready to get on a shuttle.
All right, thank you. Next, I'd like to introduce U.S. Marshal Gary Schofield.
My name is Gary Schofield. Spelling is Schofield. Just look on the screen there. On behalf of the United States Marshal Service and on behalf of the Department of Justice, we want to thank our partners that worked with us throughout this fugitive investigation. We first became aware of it when the Department of Corrections reached out to the U.S. Marshal Service Task Force and immediately started looking at all the different leads. And a significant portion of this was the work being done by the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. So we want to thank the sheriff for everything that he did and his staff. We want to thank the Department of Corrections, Nevada State Police, and the FBI. Without a doubt, when you think about the ability of this individual to get across state lines and then possibly federally, so we immediately made this up to a major case protocol and then started notifying all the other districts and following up leads. Ultimately, though, the biggest point that I want to say is that it's the work of the media and the public that brought this individual into custody. So without a doubt, he is headed back to where he needs to be. And I was asked a lot of questions over the last couple of days about where would we go? Well, we would continue to pursue him any place and any time. So we really want to thank everybody for all the work we've done. And without a doubt, we couldn't do this with our other federal partners. So Spencer can come up and have a few words too.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Spencer Evans. I'm the Special Agent in charge of the FBI's Las Vegas Division. I'd like to echo some of the sentiments shared this afternoon. The FBI was proud to partner with Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, the U.S. Marshals, and others who were looking for a violent escaped fugitive, especially a convicted convict in this case. This is the ultimate team sport when law enforcement works together. The FBI played a small but I think important role working together with our partners, and as Marshal Schofield noted, the public interest is really what plays a key part of this as well. So the FBI yesterday offered a reward of up to $25,000 for information that resulted in the capture or location of Mr. Duarte Herrera. In this case, as LVMPD noted, we had at least one reporting party that had contacted law enforcement identifying his location. LVMPD had already put resources in the area, which is really encouraging to see. And so in this case, it's really an example of cooperation that within a little more than 24 hours, the subject was back in custody. You never know what tip is going to make the difference, and so really that partnership with law enforcement and the public, especially in the Las Vegas metropolitan area, where a concerned public is taking note, conscientious, wanting to do the right thing, somebody called, and that made all the difference in this case. And with that, we'll take your questions, and again, as the sheriff noted, please indicate who they should be directed towards. Thank you.
I one for Special Agent Evans. Given the offer of the reward, will this individual be receiving that reward?
So at this time, we have information there's at least one reporting party that called. Part of what the FBI will do is working with LVMPD and others, identify did anybody else provide tips, how successful were those tips, and to what extent did they lead to the capture of the subject, and then we'll make a determination about the reward at that point.
For the sheriff, what was he doing around Bonanza and Nellis Monday night?
Go ahead.
Or for Captain Clarkson, please?
So I can answer the question. So the question is what he was doing around Bonanza and Nellis. So the information that we had through the investigation is that he was simply just dropped off in that area. No specific information why. We just wanted to confirm that information during our interviews, and he in fact was dropped off in that area around 7 p.m. and we confirmed that through that video surveillance.
How did he get to Nellis and Bonanza? Was he picked up outside of the prison? How did he come to Las Vegas?
So we're still he escaped from the prison, so which is just outside of Las Vegas. So we're still investigating that and how specifically he ended up at that location.
So if he was dropped off, was he working with an accomplice here in Las Vegas? How did he get that change of clothes? How did he get money?
So again, that's still all under investigation, confirming that specific information. He was able to get money, a little bit of money and a little bit of transportation just from that specifically that area. And mainly he just kind of laid low and just tried to avoid the public and try to avoid law enforcement.
Do you know who dropped him off, or sorry, Mr. Schofield, do you know who may have dropped him off? Are you looking into that at this point in time?
Just like the captain's saying, we're just looking into it right now.
We do. We know the answers to those questions, but we're not going to provide them today because it's an ongoing investigation, and we don't know if we're going to levy additional charges for other individuals. In particular, to the prison and escape, the Inspector General from the state will, Department of Corrections will opine on the issues associated with the escape, and hopefully they will provide you information shortly on the circumstances of that escape.
Well, Sheriff Lombardo, when it comes to
Vanessa, hold on. Vanessa.
Thank you. Sheriff Lombardo, when did the Department of Corrections officially ask other agencies, including your agency, including the U.S. Marshals, for help?
Gary, you could probably provide the more accurate information.
So what ended up happening was the Nevada Department of Corrections notified the U.S. Marshal Service Regional Task Force, which is actually led and based out of Los Angeles. They sent the District of Nevada, myself, notification that this investigation was ongoing by the afternoon, Tuesday afternoon. So that was when the first time that any authorities within Nevada were aware of what was occurring out at the prison.
Can you confirm the way he escaped was using battery acid to...
Like I said, that'll be provided by the state and the Department of Corrections, that information.
Was the Department of Corrections invited to this press conference? If so, why or why not? Why aren't they here to answer our questions?
I don't know the answer to that.
Were they invited?
Yes.
Sure. There's a dangerous criminal that just escaped. As the chief law enforcement officer here, what's your concern about the danger this could potentially happen again?
Well, yeah, that's a grave concern, right? Because when you put the safety of the public into jeopardy, that is my primary mission, right? To eliminate that concern, and the policies and the procedures and all the failures that occurred on Friday and up till Tuesday need to be addressed. I saw the governor put out a press release that they would do a full investigation with this incident, and I implore him to make sure that does happen, because we don't want it to happen into the future, obviously, right? So infrastructure issues in the prison system, staffing issues in the prison systems, the ability for this individual to do it, from what I've been told, as simply as he did it, is a grave concern for me and the entire law enforcement community and the community as a whole.
Sheriff Lombardo, are you 100% confident that the prison only realized he was missing Tuesday morning, or do you believe anyone had knowledge he was missing on Friday, Saturday, sooner than that?
I don't want to guess to anything, Vanessa. I don't have confidence in any of those questions that you just presented.
Sheriff Lombardo, what's the difficulty of coming into an investigation like this, working with other agencies, when the escapee has a 4-day start?
Well, you hit on the key point, right? 4-day start. It's not difficult if we know, in short order. We are used to working as a team. We have been successful in years past and in current investigations in apprehending suspects. that intend to commit harm. And in this case, the individual had a four-day head start, and fortunately and unfortunately, he remained in the area. And we were able to apprehend him with assistance of the public. But more importantly is all the effort that went into it once we became aware. Nobody stood back, nobody tried to place blame, and everybody came together for the primary concern is getting this individual into custody and the safety of the community.
I know you said you're imploring the state to investigate the compromising of security that happened here, but what kind of conversations are happening between agencies to ensure that this doesn't happen again?
Well, I've had a pretty extensive conversation with the Inspector General's office via the Department of Corrections as early as this morning, and I have confidence they're going to come to the bottom of this and implore resources to prevent it from happening in the future.
Sheriff Lombardo, there was an incident yesterday downtown with a device. Was that connected to this at all?
I'm not aware of that. Vanessa, anybody else in the room?
I can speak.
Okay, go ahead.
So they.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Go ahead.
So as far as this suspected device, so the Nevada Department of Corrections conducted an inventory of the cell, and there was a briefing at the Marshal office downtown during the investigation. Look at what they had. They saw something that was suspicious. So out of an abundance of caution, the LVMPD was notified. We responded and rendered anything safe.
All right. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate your time.
You've been watching breaking news from the Las Vegas Review-Journal, sponsored by Michael Gaughan's South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa.